What's up, everybody? Happy, what is it, Thursday? Happy Thursday. So I wanted to come on here and talk about grades, grading scales. So I don't know if you guys saw hey, what's up, Marley? Can you guys hear me okay? So I don't know if you guys saw what came about in San Francisco, but recently they had proposed something about grades, that they were going to completely change and restructure their grading program, or their grading scale, so that 80% was an A. I think they said 41, even 41 was a C. And I think I read it was like 21 was a passing grade, 21%. And so basically I'm like reading up on this, and what they're saying is they wanted to ditch like class attendance and homework would not have an effect on a student's final grade under this new system. However, all of their grades would be left up to a final exam. And so if you guys know anything about me or my philosophy or how I feel about grades, you'll know this. So I feel like grades and grading scale is it is completely backwards. We have it completely backwards right now, which is why we actually ditch grades. So we don't give our students actual grades from 8th grade on down. And here's why. So I feel like, for students and even for us as adults, like we put so much emphasis on grades and what type of grades a student gets, and we associate their worth with grades. So for whatever reason, it's like if there's a kid we want to say, oh, hey, they're a great kid. We go straight to GPA. Oh, they're 4.0 students, straight A's. And we want to associate that, like their grades, with the type of child that they are. On the flip side, if we talk about a kid that is maybe, a naughty kid or whatever, or we really want to, emphasize what type of child they're worth. We're like, yeah, they're really struggling. They're a bad kid. They're a straight F student. For whatever reason, there's always we tag them with their grades and what their value is. So I don't know if you guys, for those of you guys who know a little bit about my homeschooling path and kind of why I got into it. So one of the biggest reasons was because my daughter Marley, she was the type of student who would not raise her hand in class, and she had quite a bit of confidence issues. And so I actually tried to get her an IEP a couple times. She didn't qualify. So it's not that she necessarily had these like learning challenges per se. It was more of like a confidence issue. And so she would try really, really hard and put all of her effort, and would go to class and still be told that she's at the bottom because she maybe misinterpreted the directions a little bit. So it broke my heart to watch her in class. This was when she was like really young, when she was still in public school. And so she started the light was dimmed in her eyes. And I did not like that as a mother. And I also felt like as a mother, I was failing her as well. And so what I did in 2020, that's part of the biggest reasons why I decided to homeschool, was because I didn't want her to feel small, and I didn't want her to feel like she was dumb or a bad student, because I know that she's brilliant. And if anybody knows my Marley, you know that she is going to be one of the most successful. She is super responsible. Like when anybody in the house needs something, we don't even text mom. I don't even like put it on me. Like we all text Marley. Like, hey, Marley, can you remember this? Can you do this? Her follow through is really, really good. So I already knew she was brilliant from a young age, but I didn't want her to have to be put inside of this box and feel like she had to fit in this box. So anyways, we ditched grades. Like we don't grade at elite. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you do that? Or how is that going to be when they go back into a system? Say I put them back in public school or private school, or they go to college. How are they going to be with this, hey girl, how are you? How are they going to do with this grading scale? And so I want to tell you these results, and I'm super excited about it. So Marley has not received grades in 5 years. Okay, so 5 years, she has never received a letter grade. Reason being is because we don't really care so much about the grades as much as we do about the concept mastery. So you have San Francisco School District, who's like, yeah, we're going to change our grading scale, and even if you get 21%, you're still passing. Like, how does that even relate to real life? How do you even how can you even tell a child, like, you don't have to show up or do any of your homework, you just have to come for this one test and you'll be good? Like, that's not how it works. You don't get to not show up for work and still get paid 50% of your salary. That's not real life. So, and for us, we don't care about them just memorizing useless facts. Like, I don't care. And I told my kids from a very long time ago, I said, I don't care if you can memorize all the Canadian rivers, like from east to west. Like, that does not excite me at all. Like, learn things that are actually important that you're going to need to know as an adult, and learn them and know them so well that you can stand up and teach them. That's what I care about. So these grades, there's so much stress and emphasis on these kids. I mean, I see kids that are struggling, like cramming for finals. And again, whatever path is for you, but this is our philosophy here, is that doesn't necessarily equate to education. Schooling does not equate to education. Grades does not equate to intelligence. Like, I said what I said. So anyways, so Marley has not received grades for 5 years. And I'm going to tell you how she did. So we do use actually an fully accredited program from 9th grade and above, because we do have athletes. We do have students who are planning on going to college. We do also offer dual enrollment. So some of our even middle schoolers are taking college courses, which we're really excited about. But as far as grades, we don't give grades. So anyways, she gets her report card back for the first time in 5 years, never seen a grade. The past 5 years, it's just like, just worry about understanding it, and so that you can stand up and teach it, so that you can regurgitate it, so you can have a conversation about what you're learning. These kids don't know how to learn. So we're training them how to learn and absorb information. She got her grades back, you guys, straight A's. This girl has 6 A's, finished her freshman year with 6 A's. And if you know Marley, where Marley was when the last time she was in public school, she was not ever even close to a straight A student. So seeing these grades now, having her plugged back into a system curriculum, fully accredited curriculum, that, yeah, let's get you back in here, so that if you happen to play in college or whatever, I was so thrilled, because it's one thing to have this philosophy, and it's one thing to say, we're going to ditch grades, and I just want you to enjoy learning and enjoy education and really be able to design what you want to learn and how you want to learn. Plug her back into this system and say, boom, like, she's getting straight A's. So it was really cool for me to see that. It also just kind of reinforces the fact of why we feel the way that we feel. Like, I actually Googled what is the average GPA of, I think it was like millionaires, or it was either millionaires or business owners, one of those two. And the average GPA was like 2.6 GPA. So what does that tell you? Is that grades do not equate to success or how smart you are, how intelligent you are. That means that you can finish it. Doesn't necessarily mean that your child, or anybody for that matter, right? For those of us who are adults, does not necessarily mean that they understand it or they've mastered it. So as you go about thinking about your child's educational journey, it's important. One of our owners, Alethea, I love it. She did this video and she's like, what did you learn? What was your day today? What did you learn? What was your favorite part? And it was interesting for them to kind of like, to go back on their day and revisit their day and say what they did and how much wasted time that there is in the classroom. And again, this is no shot to the teachers. Actually, I was reading one of these, one of the articles about the San Francisco school district, and the teachers were up in arms. They were like, how are we going to change this grading system and give passing grades at 21? Like, that doesn't even, we're not teaching these kids anything. So we're telling them they don't have to show up. They don't have to do any homework, but all of their grade just comes down to one final grade. Like that doesn't, we're not preparing them for real life. And we're not teaching them to fall in love with learning either. We're not teaching them how to learn. And we're not teaching them that education is like, we're lifelong learners and education never ends. And self-education is actually the best education. When you can put your child in an environment where they can actually pick and choose what they want to learn and how they want to learn, they're going to absorb the information so much more. So I just love that. Many of you guys know my story about Marley, and I always talk about Marley and how she struggled. She was like at the bottom of her class, try to get her IEPs, plugging her back in for the first time and seeing her for the first time receive grades, first time in 5 years. and go from last in the class to straight A's. Super exciting for me because I'm like, she's getting it. So anyways, I wanted to point that out. But don't take it from me. As always, go trust and verify. Go look it up for yourselves. San Francisco School District, they got actually so much backlash that they ditched this, what they were trying to do. This was all in the name of like, I don't know, some type of equity effort. Grading for equity, all of a sudden they wanted to take the passing grade down to 21%, which is outrageous. At that point, why even grade? What's the point of grades? Like, what are we doing? The other thing to note is like, we're like one of the only school systems in the world that does this, and we're not even one of the top. So we need to if we're going to take ideas or try to mirror what anybody else is doing, we should look at like the Finnish, look at other countries who are at the top and whose kids are just super bright and brilliant. They don't do these standardized tests like we do, you guys. Like, this is when other people come to our countries and they see the type of standardized tests that we give, they're like, what is this? What is this? Multiple choice, like, what are we doing to our kids? So having conversations with them, having them stand up and having them present, and being able to have a little back and forth and questions, even when for our elite kids, when we send them home, sometimes we'll be like, hey, parents, ask them about this. We want them to engage in conversations, because the more they talk about it, the more they're able to understand it. It's just like anything. Like, it's one thing to watch somebody go through the motions, maybe do like a worksheet, but if you have to turn around and teach it, you're going to know it so much more, so much better. So that's where we're at. Go look it up yourself, San Francisco School Districts, what they try to do. And I was really happy to make this post, because this is why we ditch grades. We don't want the child's worth or value to be tied into their grades, whether they're a straight A student or whether they're an F student. Because, I'm like, for example, I would always be my oldest daughter. She went to private school, as you guys know, and I was like, straight A's. But, she ended up telling me, she's like, Mom, I feel like my worth is like my GPA. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. The other thing that hit me is when I finally pulled her out senior year, she was like, had her start working. She could not think outside the box. And she's like, Mom, I've been an AP, I've been an honor student, straight A kid my whole life, because I know how to follow directions really well. But when it came to pulling her out and having her do some projects for us, she could not think outside the box, which now she did. She has, this past year, homeschooling has totally changed her world, and I'm super proud. But this is why. Do you work with kids that aren't athletes? Absolutely. Yes. So we do. We have, and I don't know where you're located, but we have our micro schools that just do the academic pieces. We have online that is also just the academic pieces as well. So please let me know. Actually, hit us up in our DMs, and then you can schedule a call. I actually have a couple openings today, so I might even be able to take your call today. So hit me up. I'd love to talk to you about it. If this sounds like something that's interesting for you, you guys are ready for your children to actually learn. Actually, here at Elite, we build leaders, cultivate entrepreneurs, and empower the next generation. They're going to get real life skills. They're going to learn how to public speak. They're going to learn how to network. They're going to learn about stocks and real estate and financial literacy and all the things that are super, super important, as well as character building. And yes, they're going to learn the 4 core subjects, but they're going to learn on their terms that they're excited about, and they're going to be super accelerated also due to our low student to teacher ratio. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Please do your homework. Don't take my word for any of this. Go check it out yourself, and let me know what you think. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.